Some people are as cold as a stone, and when they're pushed into deadly situations, their primal instincts take over and make them do unbelievably courageous things. Things that make even the most bloodthirsty predators tremble in fear, which is exactly what we're about to see today. Very late at night, a lion snuck onto a man's farm and was silently hunting for a quick meal among the livestock here. The predator set its sights on a small sheep, certain it had found an easy target. To its surprise, it found itself face to face with the man, who stood bare-chested and was absolutely furious, staring down the lion. Just as the lion attacked the sheep and tried to drag it away, the man threw an axe directly at it without any hesitation. Startled by the violent response, the lion dropped its prey and fled into the night, empty-handed and probably shaking. Charging like a hungry predator, this moose barreled toward a man and his wife, probably planning to stomp on them to death. The woman was terrified and she immediately ran away. However, the man understood that running would only encourage the moose further. He planted his feet firmly, knowing he had to face the beast head-on. Grabbing a long stick, the man pointed it directly at the moose, shouting at the top of his lungs. The moose stopped abruptly, seemingly reconsidering its next move. Though it appeared to weigh its options for a moment, the man raised his arms high, made himself appear larger, and let out an even louder scream. That final display of dominance was enough to send the moose running for the hills, leaving the man standing strong while the moose fled, completely humiliated. Two men found themselves trapped here. They were backed into a corner by a massive lion and had nothing to defend themselves with. So, they grabbed two long tree branches and used them to poke at the lion and keep it at a distance. The lion seemed unsure as it kept swiping at the branches with its powerful paws. Each strike made the branches shake, and it looked like the lion might break through at any moment. But the men didn't give up, fighting back with all they had, pushing the lion away each time it got too close. Miraculously, their persistence paid off, and the lion, intimidated by their resistance, finally backed down and ran off into the wilderness, leaving the men to live another day. Here we have a man that spotted an alligator in the swamp, and instead of running away, he decided to jump on the alligator's back and wrestle it into submission. As soon as the man surprised the alligator with his attack, the alligator started struggling to throw the man off and get away. But the man was strong enough to grab the alligator's arms and pin it down and get it under control. The alligator was clearly stubborn, but the man was simply stronger and more powerful, and he ended up winning the fight. What a strange thought, a man wrestling an alligator and winning. Surrounded by a bloodthirsty pack of wolves, this man stood his ground with a spear in his hand, and he was pointing it towards them. The wolves circled him, studying his every move, yet they didn't seem too eager to attack. There was something about the man's presence that made them hesitant, almost as if they were afraid to make the first move. Tension filled the air as both the man and the wolves waited, and it looked like an intense and vicious battle was about to explode once the wolves gathered enough courage to attack. But just as the moment reached its peak, the clip abruptly ended, leaving us in suspense. The man's friend also tried to scare the wolves away, and as he tried to fake an attack on one of the ruthless predators, one of the wolves came at him and almost attacked him, but the footage was cut short here too. How frustrating! A man stumbled upon a wolf den near his backyard, and curious, decided to investigate. Inside, he found it full of wolf pups, and assuming they had been abandoned, he decided to move them. As he started pulling the pups out, he quickly realized his mistake. The pups weren't abandoned at all. Their parents came charging out of the woods, ready to defend their young. With no time to think, the man grabbed the net he had brought with him and used it to fend off the attacking wolves. They growled and lunged, but the man managed to keep them at bay just long enough to make his escape. In the end, neither the wolves, the man, nor the pups were harmed, but it was a close call that he likely wouldn't forget anytime soon. While filming the peaceful scenery, a bear came charging at a man who had nerves of steel here. Reacting instantly, the man spread his arms wide, trying to appear larger, and began yelling as loudly as he could. The bear, caught off guard by this bold display, froze in its tracks. Although it had been set to attack, the man's unexpected reaction seemed to unsettle the bear. After a tense few seconds, the bear decided it wasn't worth the risk, turned around and ran back into the woods, leaving the man unharmed. As large as a mammoth, this ridiculously large elephant came charging towards a man at full speed. The man, however, didn't move a single muscle, standing his ground without even flinching. Despite the incredible size and force of the elephant, it slowed down as it neared him, seemingly confused by the lack of reaction. The elephant, perhaps expecting fear or flight, hesitated just before it reached the man. It quickly changed its course, turning away and running off as if it had seen a ghost. Finding himself in the open and facing two charging polar bears with no place to hide, this man grabbed a couple of tree logs and began throwing them at the bears. At first, the bears seemed confident, but as the man kept hurling the logs and making noise, the bears started to hesitate. What began as a fierce charge soon turned into uncertainty. The bears, realizing the man wasn't an easy target, backed off and eventually ran away, leaving the man with one of the coolest stories ever told. Deep within a dense forest, a gigantic gorilla came racing towards this man, its heavy footsteps shaking the ground. Yet, the man stood completely still, staring directly at the approaching beast without showing any fear. The gorilla, expecting the man to run or react, slowed down as it got closer. For a moment, it seemed like the gorilla might continue its charge, but the man's calm demeanor unsettled it. The gorilla then panicked and stopped in its tracks, recognizing the man's dominance.
Did you enjoy this video? Please let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And please, turn on your notifications bell to get notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.